Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we go any further, I need you to feel this, not just hear it. Somewhere in your past, there was a moment when a woman looked at you differently, softer, quieter, like she was standing at the edge of something she didn't want to fall into alone. That look wasn't random. That was the moment right before she fell. And if you miss what comes just before that moment, you will keep losing women you never even knew you had a chance with. So subscribe, like this video, and stay with me, because what I'm about to share is the part nobody teaches men, but every woman feels. I'm speaking to you not as a critic, but as a psychologist who has listened to thousands of women explain love when they thought no one would judge them. Men think attraction is loud. They think love starts with passion, chemistry, dramatic signals, but the truth is quieter, and that's why you keep overlooking it. A woman does not fall for a man at the peak of excitement. She falls in the moment she feels emotionally safe enough to lower her guard without being asked to. Right before she falls, she reveals one small but powerful thing: emotional honesty wrapped in vulnerability. Not a performance, not flirting, not seduction. She shows you a piece of her real internal world, a fear, a doubt, an insecurity, a story she doesn't tell everyone. And she watches you very carefully in that moment, not to see if you fix it, not to see if you impress her. She watches to see if you can hold it without making it about yourself. Most men fail here, not because they're bad, but because they're unaware. They joke, they minimize, they rush to solutions, or they turn the conversation back to themselves. And in doing that, they unknowingly signal that her inner world is not safe with them. The door closes quietly. She smiles, she keeps talking, but she starts stepping back emotionally. And you never even see the shift happen. That single response from you decides whether attraction grows roots or stays surface level. Love, for her, begins where emotional risk meets emotional safety. Miss that, and you will blame timing, distance, or bad luck, never realizing the moment was in your hands, and you let it slip away softly. You've been told your whole life that women fall for confidence, status, looks, dominance, and yes, those things can create attention. They can spark curiosity, but attention is not attachment. Curiosity is not emotional investment. The shift from she likes you to she feels something deeper happens in a moment so subtle, most men talk right over it. When she starts revealing something slightly imperfect about herself, that is not casual conversation, that is emotional testing. She might tell you she overthinks, that she sometimes feels like she's too much, that she worries she pushes people away. Maybe she admits she had a rough experience in the past that made her more guarded. She says it lightly, almost like it doesn't matter, but it does. It matters more than anything she's said before. In that moment, she is not looking for advice. She is not asking you to solve her life. She is asking one silent question: is it safe to be real around you, or do I have to stay impressive? If you respond with logic, you miss her. If you tease her, you make her retreat. If you one-up her with your own story too quickly, you shift the focus away from the emotional space she just opened, and she feels it instantly. Women are deeply attuned to emotional presence. She can sense when you're listening to reply versus listening to understand. The man who changes everything is the one who slows down in that moment. His tone softens, his energy steadies, he doesn't rush, he doesn't get uncomfortable, he doesn't perform strength, he shows calm acceptance. Something as simple as, "That makes sense, thanks for trusting me with that," creates a psychological signal. Her nervous system understands. You are safe. Safety is what allows feelings to grow. Not excitement, not tension. Safety. Because when she feels safe, her guard lowers naturally. Not because you pushed it down, but because her mind and body decided you are not a threat to her emotional world. This is the doorway most men walk past while trying to impress her. But the man who recognizes it, honors it, and holds that space without ego, becomes different in her mind. He stops being just another guy. He becomes someone she can emotionally lean toward, and that's the beginning of her fall. Here's the part that might be hard to hear, but you deserve the truth. When she reveals something vulnerable, and you handle it with steadiness, something shifts inside her that she doesn't consciously control. Her nervous system relaxes, her voice changes slightly, her eyes hold contact a little longer. She doesn't even realize she's leaning closer, emotionally, and sometimes physically. This is not strategy. This is biology meeting psychology. Women are constantly scanning for emotional safety, often without knowing they're doing it. It's not about weakness, it's about how connection forms in the brain. Before deep feelings develop, her mind asks, "Can I be unguarded here?" Because being emotionally open is risk, and she will only take that risk when her system detects calm strength, not loud confidence. Calm strength is different from performance. Performance tries to impress. Calm strength makes space. Performance talks. Calm strength listens. Performance tries to lead the moment. Calm strength allows the moment to unfold. When she shares something personal, and you don't tense up, don't joke it away, don't turn it into advice mode, you send a powerful signal. You can handle emotional reality. Most men don't realize that discomfort is louder than words. If you get awkward, she feels it. If you rush to change the topic, she feels it. If you suddenly try to be overly positive or motivational, she feels that too, and she interprets it as, "He can't sit with real emotions." So she pulls back, not dramatically, but subtly. She becomes lighter, more surface level, less open. You think everything is fine, but depth has quietly closed. But when you stay present, grounded and respectful of her inner world, she experiences relief. Relief is powerful. Relief turns into trust. Trust turns into emotional warmth. Emotional warmth is where attachment begins forming. This is why the one thing she reveals before falling for you is not dramatic, it's small, it's personal, it's imperfect. And your response tells her more about your suitability than any compliment, gift, or date ever could. You don't win her heart by being extraordinary in big moments. You win it by being steady in small emotional ones. That is the moment love quietly starts building underneath the surface, long before either of you say it out loud. Now let's talk about what most men completely miss: timing. She doesn't reveal this vulnerable piece of herself to every man she meets. She doesn't even reveal it to most men she likes. She only reveals it when her subconscious decides you are different, when she senses you might actually be able to hold space for her without judgment. That moment is fleeting, and if you're not tuned in, it disappears before you even realize it existed. Think about it. How many times have you been on a date, thinking everything is going perfectly, when she suddenly shifts, becomes quieter, or pulls back? That's her testing the emotional waters. She's not playing games, she's scanning for security. If you respond too quickly, too loudly, or with ego, the moment collapses. You've unknowingly signaled that she's not safe revealing her internal world around you. The irony is brutal. Men chase attention, charm, and excitement, thinking it will create closeness, while the real closeness is happening in quiet, still moments, in small disclosures that most men dismiss as nothing. The way you respond in these moments, calmly, patiently, with understanding, tells her more about your character than a year of dates ever could. She's watching your reactions as if every micro-expression of yours carries meaning. A flicker of impatience, a rushed smile, a subtle judgment, all of it is picked up. And even if she doesn't call it out, it shapes her perception of you. Men underestimate how sensitive women are to emotional presence. It's not about saying the right words, it's about being able to exist with her truth without needing to fix, change, or control it. This is why timing and presence matter more than anything else. You can have the best conversation topics, the funniest jokes, or the most impressive achievements, but if you can't hold her vulnerable moments with steadiness, you've missed the window. You've been present physically but absent emotionally. She may smile, laugh, even enjoy your company, but the deeper attachment never forms. So understand this: the one thing she reveals before she falls is a test, a soft opening. It's fragile, delicate, and brief. Your ability to honor it without overreacting is what sets you apart from every other man she's ever met. Miss it, and she remains at a distance. Recognize it, and you become unforgettable in ways she can't explain. Here's a truth most men never hear. Women don't fall for gestures. They fall for consistency in the emotional small stuff. That moment when she reveals a fear, a doubt, or a piece of her heart. How you respond once matters. Yes, but how you respond repeatedly, subtly, over time, cements whether she starts falling for you. It's like water on stone, gentle, steady, almost invisible, but impossible to ignore once it leaves its mark. Most men think they need to escalate. Big dates, big statements, grand moves. That's the noise she hears every day. What she notices, unconsciously, is the quiet signal that you can sit with her truth without flinching, without turning it into a competition, without needing to dominate the moment. It's in how you react when she shares the little things, the moments she assumes don't matter. These are the moments that matter most. When she tells you about a small insecurity, how you react shows her whether she can trust you with bigger vulnerabilities later. Do you tease her? Do you dismiss it? Do you make it about you? Or do you simply acknowledge it and let her feel safe? That is the difference between a fleeting crush and the start of emotional attachment. You might think attraction is driven by excitement or passion, but it isn't. Those things can get her attention, but they rarely hold her heart. Emotional safety is what holds her attention, and emotional consistency is what makes her heart lean in over time. She notices if you panic when things get honest. She notices if your tone changes. She notices if your patience wavers. Every tiny reaction adds up in her subconscious. The irony is, the men she will eventually fall for often feel ordinary, nothing flashy, nothing dramatic, but they have this rare quality, a quiet ability to hold space for her emotional reality. It's not about being perfect. It's about being steady, being present, being emotionally reliable when she's being emotionally exposed. And here's what most men don't realize. You can't fake this. Women feel it instantly. She can tell if your calm is a performance or genuine. She can sense if your interest is shallow or if you're genuinely engaged with who she is beneath the surface. That authenticity is magnetic. It draws her in quietly, irresistibly, without her even fully understanding why she's leaning closer emotionally. This is why, if you want her to fall, you must master the subtle art of emotional presence. It's not flashy. It's not aggressive. It's invisible, steady, and relentless in its quiet power. Miss it, and she drifts away. Recognize it, and she begins to fall, almost without realizing it herself. Now I need you to really understand this, because most men completely misread the signs. The moment she reveals something personal, something slightly imperfect, it's not just a disclosure, it's a quiet invitation. It's like handing you a key to a locked door she rarely opens. She's testing you, seeing if you can handle access to her inner world without breaking the trust she's giving you. Most men treat it like casual conversation, and that's why most men never get to the heart of a woman's feelings. She is scanning for emotional containment. She wants to know, can you sit with her without fixing, judging, or trying to control? Can you stay steady when she shows her edges, her cracks, her fears? That's the invisible test. And here's the catch. You don't even know it's a test unless you pay attention to her energy. The subtle shifts in her tone, the tiny hesitations in her words, these are the signals that tell you she's starting to fall. Miss them, and you'll never realize how close you were. You see, men often think they need to impress, entertain, or dominate the interaction to make her fall. But emotional safety works in the opposite way. She doesn't want a man who outshines her or overshadows her moment. She wants a man who becomes a quiet anchor, someone who shows patience, understanding, and steadiness. That anchor doesn't rush her vulnerability. It allows her to unfold naturally. Think about it. Every time she shares a fear or a hesitation, and you respond with calm steadiness, you're sending a message deeper than words. You're signaling, I see you, I can handle you, you're safe. That's a far more powerful attraction trigger than charm, money, or looks. Because attachment is not built in the flashy moments. It's built in the quiet ones, the subtle, emotionally charged moments that most men ignore. And here's the psychological truth. When she senses that safety repeatedly, her mind starts releasing attachment chemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, without her even being aware. She begins to feel drawn to you emotionally before she can explain why. The key is consistency. One perfect reaction isn't enough. She needs to experience it multiple times. She needs to see that your steadiness is not a fluke. That's what turns fleeting interest into genuine falling. So pay attention. When she opens a small door to her heart, don't rush, don't perform, don't overthink. Just be steady, present, and accepting. That is the invisible signal that sparks the start of her emotional fall for you. Miss it, and she retreats quietly. Recognize it, and you become the man she begins to lean toward without even realizing it. Here's the part most men completely miss. Once she has revealed a piece of her vulnerability, She is watching more than just your words. She's watching your presence, your energy, your ability to tolerate the quiet. Most men feel the need to fill that space with jokes, stories, or grand gestures, thinking it will keep her interested. But the truth is, she is already invested in that moment. She just needs confirmation that you can handle it. Emotional presence is magnetic in a way. Charm and looks can never be. She notices if you get restless, if your tone tightens, if your mind starts spinning to solve a problem that wasn't meant to be solved. She can feel subtle impatience, the slightest ego flare, even tiny distractions. Every micro-reaction tells her more about your suitability as a partner than any display of strength, wealth, or dominance ever could. The men she eventually falls for are almost always those who become invisible anchors in her life. Invisible, but powerful. They don't demand attention. They don't seek validation. They simply exist as steady, reliable presence, able to contain her emotions without judgment or performance. That quiet power creates the kind of safety that makes her want to lean in emotionally, to share more, to trust more, and yes, to fall more. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not manipulation. You are not using psychology to trick her. You are simply showing up as a man capable of holding emotional reality without fear. That ability is rare because most men unconsciously recoil from vulnerability, both their own and hers. But if you can stay grounded while she opens up, you signal something far more primal than charm. You are trustworthy, and trust is the foundation of deep attraction. And here's the kicker. Women don't consciously know when they start falling. It's not fireworks or declarations. It's a quiet shift in energy, a subtle leaning toward you, a softening of defenses. One moment she's guarded, the next she's giving little glimpses of herself you've never seen before. That's the magic window, the one you've been waiting for. And it's only visible to men who pay attention to presence, tone, and consistency. The one thing she reveals before she falls is always delicate, small, and almost invisible. Miss it, and she withdraws quietly. Recognize it, and you become the man she gravitates toward, the one who earns her trust and emotional openness without ever forcing it. That is the unseen doorway to her heart. By now, you need to understand this fully. The moment she begins to fall isn't announced. It's not a dramatic confession or a sudden declaration. It's a quiet, almost imperceptible shift in how she allows herself to exist around you. She will laugh a little softer, speak a little more openly, linger a little longer. Her guard lowers fraction by fraction, and with each small act of trust, she is testing whether you can hold it. The one thing she reveals before she falls is not a strategy or a trick. It's the essence of her inner world. A fear, a doubt, a memory that she guards fiercely, shared only because she senses your steadiness. Your response in that moment decides everything. Do you dismiss it? Do you turn it into a joke? Do you make it about yourself? Or do you sit with it, honor it, and allow her to feel safe? This is the difference between fleeting attraction and real emotional connection. Most men will never see it. They think they need to impress, to entertain, to escalate. But attraction runs deeper than performance. Real emotional attachment is born in subtle, consistent moments of safety. Every calm word, every steady glance, every non-judgmental response is a thread weaving trust into her subconscious. And when that trust accumulates, when she knows she can exist without fear of judgment, she begins to fall quietly, almost unknowingly. You must also remember that this process cannot be rushed. She doesn't reveal her vulnerability to everyone, and she doesn't fall for someone who pressures her emotional boundaries. Her heart opens only when her nervous system registers genuine safety. This is why patience is not a virtue. It's the core skill of men who understand women. The more consistent your emotional presence, the deeper her attachment will grow. If you can master this, if you can truly sit with her truth without needing to fix, entertain, or dominate, you will stand apart from every other man she has ever met. She will start leaning toward you emotionally before either of you can name it. That subtle, unseen connection, the one she tests with small truths, is where real love quietly begins. So pay attention. Listen beyond the words. Notice the tiny shifts in energy, tone, and vulnerability. Respect them, hold space for them, and understand that the one thing she reveals before she falls is your doorway to becoming unforgettable in her heart. Miss it, and it disappears. Recognize it, and you become the man she begins to fall for. naturally, irresistibly, and quietly, without even realizing it herself.